Hi there, and welcome to another edition of Cocktails with Heather. I am Mike Sutherland.
Joe Spiegel.
I'm still Heather.
Just still Heather. I don't really know what we're going to talk about today, other than we do have an idea of marriage failures, possibly fetishes, and maybe a couple of other things. But I'm going to lead off the podcast with this. A serial killer jailed for the murder of 5 women has been found dead in his cell after hooking up an electrical current to his nipples and penis. Thoughts?
My nipples are smoking.
I think it sounds totally hot.
I think it's funny that he's been dubbed the Aiken Strangler.
The what?
The Aiken Strangler, or the Aiken. I'm going with Aiken.
Aiken.
He was Aiken.
You know, it's aching right now. His penis.
He ain't aching anymore.
He went out with a buzz.
So, that's an original way to kill yourself, though. Do you think he was actually trying to kill himself, or do you think he was just going for that, like a different type of
The autoerotica
sensation?
kind of thing.
Yeah.
He came and went at the same time.
Oh.
I had to use that stupid joke. He removed a cable from his bedside table, lamp, sorry, the bedside table lamp, then wound it around his nipples and penis and stuck it in the power socket. Stuck the...
When it comes to dying, he really nipped it in the bud, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Shut the fuck up.
That's what I'm here for.
Did he? So he strangled people. He didn't electrocute his victims.
Yeah, his 5 victims were all women aged between 15 and 31.
Yeah, what a shocker.
That one's almost painful.
Almost.
Yeah, okay, so to me that sounds like... I'm just going to say he didn't mean to kill himself. He was just looking for a little joy.
Killjoy.
Looking for a little joy.
Would you consider that to be a happy ending?
For some.
Maybe for him.
Did he have a smile on his face? Was that reported?
I don't know.
Details,
They
son.
usually
Details.
don't report details like that.
They really should.
Yeah, I agree.
For inquiring minds.
Yeah.
Body was found.
Don't they know that there's cocktails with Heather? You know, we got to
Slightly
talk
smoking.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Corpse had an O face. Oh.
I want to know.
about this. Lumberg fucked her.
So do you think that was a fetish? Are you leading us into fetishes here?
Yeah, so let's lead into fetishes.
I thought it was interesting that we had the two mixed, because when you say them together, it kind of sounds funny, like past marriages and fetishes. That's a weird combination. But I was thinking about
possibly fetishes.
I had a fetish in my marriage.
when we were talking last time, and I think this is just a ruse to bring up your foot fetish again, Michael.
Fuck feet.
Yes, exactly. That's
Yes.
she's implying that's what you like to do.
Yes,
No,
yes,
I
we
think-
believe that's what you enjoy.
I think you guys are misrepresenting.
You like to jam those toes, buddy.
I'm going to start throwing things.
Do you think he likes to take his foot with the lady's foot and then just
No.
kind of like intertwine toes
No,
together?
Fuck
That's
that.
Like a
That's
little
like-
a knotted,
Vaseline
like a slip and slide.
or like cinnamon hot gel.
I've never actually watched a foot fetish video.
I
know that they're
can't
they're
stand
out
them.
there. I know they're out there.
I
But
draw the line at tit fucking.
that has really
That's
nothing to
just
do with anything.
fucking stupid.
I think that's
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
but
It's laughably bad. I like why
the fact that you draw the line at tit fucking,
'Cause it's so
but you
dumb.
won't draw the line at, I don't know, scat,
Of course that
or some chick jerking some guy off with her foot.
whatever.
Eh.
I don't get off on it, but apparently that guy does. Scat is like beyond, so I don't need to really mention that because I'm not into shiza. Most people aren't into shiza, so I don't even need to mention that.
I draw the line at fucking some
I just
banal.
every time I've seen tit fucking, it is
Tit
the
fucking
dumbest
thing.
thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, fucking your tits, baby! It's so stupid. I laugh.
I don't think draw the line is appropriate. It's you don't care for tit fucking. You draw the line at
maybe you're just not a tit
Piss
guy,
and
because
shit.
there's guys that are really into tits and maybe they get off on that.
yeah. That's there's a lot of guys that do.
Like
Yeah, look,
like
to
the
each,
foot.
To each his own, okay? But I'm just saying, for me, it looks retarded. I look at that shit and I laugh because it's just so. It just looks dumb.
I have to assume that that's something that was invented by. I'm trying to stay a virgin, so I'll let you fuck my tits.
I think it was invented by a bored porno director who's been doing it for decades, and he's like, "Oh, we got to come up with a new idea. Oh, hey, why don't you bang your poops? Let's do that."
Time after time, they could
think
not
it-
fit a dick
I
in
think
someone's
it was,
ear.
I think
Yeah.
it was more along the lines of a fetish director that came up with that.
Yeah.
The same difference.
Or like an obesity porno where it's like, oh, bang your folds, right? You can bang your tits, you can bang your folds.
yeah.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Cowgirl, reverse cowgirl was invented for porn.
Okay.
specifically for.
That's a fun fact.
Yes,
Fun
that's a
fact.
fun fact.
So
Fun fact.
Cleopatra never did that?
And not that I know of.
Was that said to be a Cleopatra thing?
I don't know, but I heard she was freaky.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So.
So bloop.
Yeah. Like, I don't get piss videos.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand the whole fetish behind chicks or guys pissing on chicks and guys.
Yeah.
You know?
All I see is smell and sticky nastiness.
Well, you can also get, like...
Piss isn't sticky.
Can't you get,
I'm seeing the after effects. Like if you never cleaned it off yourself and it dried.
Oh, yeah, that might be.
That's what I see immediately. That's
well,
what
they
I
take
picture.
showers. So it's not like they go home like that.
That's why I can't get into like honey dripping on people and they lick it off and shit because all I see is sticky afterwards.
Yeah.
So splooshing is not for you.
I'm not. I hate the money shot.
No. Splooshing is where you actually like you have women sitting on cakes.
Yes.
Or food.
Sploosh.
They called it splooshing. There's a whole, I mean, basically anything you could think of, there's a fetish for it, which I find absolutely amazing because I don't believe I have a fetish for anything. Mm-hmm. So I wonder, like, what am I lacking? Because I don't, I'm not into any, quote unquote, into anything in particular. It's like, I just like dick. Like, I'm good with that. Like, that's fine. I don't need it to, I don't need him to rub like latex balloons on me. I don't need.
That's a weird one too.
I don't need
the whole like
any of that.
People buying dirty panties or socks.
Hey, I had a really good idea to sell dirty panties on the internet before they made it illegal for a while.
Have you heard of the champagne thing? From overseas, I think it got banned over here. But they have porno stars and models overseas, and what they'll do is they'll actually pour champagne down their bodies, and then they'll have something that catches it after it's run down their whole body, their crack and everything, and then they'll have the video of it and everything, so to authenticate it, and then people pay like high bids for this shit, and then they take it and they do whatever they want with the champagne.
That's just fucking. Mm-hmm. That's awful.
When I was breastfeeding, I really had this desire because I produce enough to feed, I don't know, probably quadruplets when I have kids, and I wanted to sell my unused breast milk. So I had this whole thing set up. Like I was going to pump and then sell my breast milk on the black market and make millions.
Right.
You know, that was like my big business venture of the day. And I mean, to be fair, yeah, when everybody's like, why don't you just donate it to, you
Mother's Best.
Yeah, you donate it and like hospitals, and there's non-for-profits that will take it and, you know, give it to babies whose mothers can't produce milk or colostrum or whatever. And I was like, but that's not making me any money.
You could do different flavors. You could like have one where you smoked a bunch of weed and then you waited till it got into it, and you could drink a bunch of vodka
you can't do that
for one time, and then just different flavors.
Well, you'd have to just sell it not for infant consumption. But there's a huge market out there, not only for adults that want to get it and drink it, but also because there's such a huge breast milk and mommy breastfeeding fetish out there.
It's my understanding that, and I'll have to look this up, and I'll do that in a second. But it's my understanding that if you, doesn't matter who it is, female, produces breast milk and gives it to another child, then it's not good for that other child because of your hormones and stuff like that. May not, like, you have to be a specific blood type.
No.
Really?
Yeah. That's why they have they used to have wet nurses and stuff all the time. And they still do. They'll have wet nurses and they do a ton of breast milk donations. But there can be, if there's anything in particular with yours that maybe the other child has an allergy is a problem. Like, I mean, I knew somebody that lost so much weight nursing because she couldn't eat anything. But yeah, there's a huge, I have no problem profiting off of the fetish market. I just do not want to participate in the fetish market. So that's an issue. I mean, I don't mind getting tied up and stuff like that, but the super deep S&M stuff, not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a big fan of that either. I got friends that are into that.
I've never really needed to delve deeply into that shit. There's pretty much a few things I'm into, and that's
what are you into?
Of course, lesbian shit. I love lesbian shit.
Yeah, dudes do love the lesbian shit.
I like real lesbian shit. I don't like lipstick lesbian shit, where you have two hot they look like strippers, and they do that fake kissing. That.
So basically, you like watching two dudes with boobs.
No, I like two chicks that are really into each other, like like they really want to be there, and they really love
basically you don't
doing.
want to watch lesbian porn.
Yeah, because lesbian porn is pretty much all
This is all
lipstick
hot
lesbians.
chicks.
Yeah, because dudes don't want to see
You
a real
want to
lesbian.
watch fucking amateur porn or something.
Not that there aren't hot lesbians. Totally some hot lesbians.
Yeah, look. I mean, I'm pretty sure that most of these chicks in these videos aren't like, they're not in a relationship with each other. They find a hot lesbian here or they could be bisexual. I don't fucking know. But in this moment, for this video, they're two chicks that are into each other, and then bada bing, bada boom. That's it. For a little while, I thought I was into fisting, and then that wore out kind of quickly. I don't pardon the pun, but it stretched a little thin.
I think it's that, and so dudes. So you're into that. What else besides feet?
I have this weird thing where I'm interested in honesty, right? She-male on she-male for some weird reason.
Okay.
And it's weird because I don't like dicks, I don't like balls, but for some reason, if there's a hot chick with a dick railing another one, I'm into it for a minute. And then I have this thing where I start noticing like the male, the parts of them that surgery couldn't take away from them good enough that still shows that there's something male on them. Like maybe
Like two sets of balls slapping together.
Well, yeah. Besides that, right? It's like I could see like their Adam's apple wasn't shaved down all the way, or there's something in the face, or in the voice, or in their arm, the way their arm structure is.
So like the Adam's apple's a problem for you, but not the huge penis.
Well, that's I don't understand why. And here's the only thing I can think of that I can tie it back to, because I'm not into dudes, so that's the weird part about this.
Oh, we have a comment from Mike.
I was gonna,
yes,
yeah,
It's because you're 5% gay.
oh, that's possible.
It's the Ron White theory.
Well, and I
okay, that's fair enough. I mean, and it's okay. It's okay to be a
and
little
look,
gay.
I look.
I almost married a gay.
I attribute like what I look at when I say I'm driving down the road or I'm walking down the street. I've never caught myself staring at a dude, even if they're in really good shape. Like I've done something where, God damn, that motherfucker puts work into himself. But I've never put into like you know what? I think I'd take a chance with that. I'd do one shot into that. I never thought that. It's just not my thing. But for some reason, I don't know why, but there's something about she-male on she-male shit that's appealing at times for a minute. It's like cool for about
It's probably the lesbian portion of the program. Your brain is constructed.
Well, and that's
to
weird
think
because
lesbian.
I don't like strap-ons. I don't when I watch two chicks with strap-ons on. I think it's stupid, especially when one's blowing the other one. It's so fucking dumb to me.
This isn't helping anyone. That is a great point. Why do they do that in the videos? It's not helping anyone.
Because there's always got to be the no matter what anyone says, there's always going to be the submissive one, and there's always going to be the dominant one. So I think it just feeds into the whole, which one's the alpha in the situation, and which one is not, which one's the beta, I guess you would call it, kind of thing. Okay. So the only thing I can attribute this whole like chick dick thing is that when I was about, oh God, I don't know, 14, 15, my uncle rented some pornos when my mom and grandma were gone, because I asked him to. Is this
the same uncle that was playing video games and cockblocked you?
Yes.
Yeah. Why are all your weird stories this uncle?
I never even thought about that, but
I got to meet this guy.
Oh, no, he died back in 2009.
Dig him up.
Well, he's cremated and spread in different places, but
Put him back together.
There was one porno that we watched, and at the end of it...
Not I, it was we.
Look, what I found out about him later on was that he was... I think, he was a sex addict, because he was always ordering pornos online, videotape pornos, because, at the time, VCRs were still the thing. And, it was late 90s and stuff, and early 2000s. And you wanted to go into this shit.
You don't need to...
Thank you. At the end of this one video, this chick opens the door, and at first she's really hot, and all of a sudden she exposes the rest of herself, and she had a dick and balls, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it always stuck in my head, and I was just like, what is that? What is going on there? It's so weird.
Why does she have a penis and boobs?
Yeah, it's fucking weird. I don't know. Look, if we're gonna be like fully honest about shit, I don't give a fuck. I know what I am, so I'm fine with it. But there was about 4 years ago or so, 3 or 4 years ago, I flirted with the idea of maybe getting like an escort, like a female escort, just to experiment and
Just
see.
to try.
And
a mouth feels like a mouth, and an asshole feels like an asshole.
And I set it up, and I was gonna go.
He lives the Jim Norton life.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go, and then all of a sudden, it just like once I said I was gonna do this, something just washed over me and said, "No, you're good." That was it. So it's like I just pretty much stepped to the precipice, and then I just didn't.
And you
jump.
know what? Even if you did, that's okay.
Well, I just
You can hump a she-male.
There are some fucking...
Everyone's shit smells bad.
Yeah.
When
there
you're
are some
fucking them in the
good-looking
ass.
fucking
I don't. Oh, that's another thing. I'm not really into watching anal and shit, dude. And all I would see is a dude's butthole, and I'm not into dude's butthole. So it's
Hey, they shave them and bleach them. It'd probably look like a chick's butthole. Just saying. Just saying.
I'm not really into like that rear shot where the guy is just pounding the chick, and all you see is his winking eye, and you're just like,
God damn it.
no, and then you're waiting for it to, it's like the Eye of Sauron, right?
Yeah,
You're
it's
just
like,
I see you. I'm waiting for it to talk.
I dropped the contact.
The great eye sees all.
Okay, so you guys are talking about that. So I understand your she-male fetish, but for me, she-male on female. It's not always, but because
and that too.
And it's because of Jim Norton. By the way, I just wanted to bring this up that there's been research done that females that have male kids produce different type of breast milk than if they have girl kids, and they don't know why.
Okay.
I already know.
That's why I was asking
I have a
about
hypothesis on that.
Well, give me just 1 second, and we'll
I could still sell my milk to some weird guy that just wants to bathe in it.
Right, but the donation thing, when it comes up to donations and stuff like that, I wonder like if you have to label for the donation stuff, or do you just send it in anonymously?
I don't know. I didn't take it that far because I didn't want to donate it. I wanted to sell it for money.
Right. Go to Heather's Tits on the dark web, and
yeah,
you can buy breast milk.
I mean, not anymore. It's all dried up now.
Heather's powdered tit milk.
Yeah, it's just powdered milk now.
Tit mouse.
Like
you guys can't see it there, but I just squeezed my tit and made a sound.
like baby powder bottle.
Yeah, baby powder.
Baby powder.
What is your theory on the breast milk?
I would assume a mother's body knows that she's given birth to a male or a female, and so her body produces specific kinds of nutrients and things like that in the breast milk that a male would need more than a female, or vice versa.
Do you think my body would know that I was going to sell it to some weird guy that wanted to bathe in it?
I don't think it would go that far, no.
It may. 2.8% fat compared to 0.6% for daughters.
So basically, it's just that whole patriarchal keep them skinny thing again.
Yeah, the
So tits are even the slaves to the system.
with
God damn it.
well, they say poor women. I'm not even going to go with poor women. Women who favored daughters had creamier milk, which was 2.6%
Creamier
versus 2.3%.
You know, this is like a fucking boring buzzkill to talking about sex.
I had to bring it up because
It's a legit fetish. It's a legit fetish, and one that I wanted to participate in making money.
right.
But I mean,
But I've always, because I had read something that breast milk, like you shouldn't donate breast milk because it's for a specific gender, and that's why I was asking about the blood type.
I think we all
And
need to.
That's why I remember reading.
Wrap our hands around the fact that it doesn't matter where it was going with it. Mike needed to prove me wrong on something.
No.
And so he needed to research on the internet.
I needed to find out because I'm the one that brought it up, and I said I didn't know, and I would research it. Right? You're still right. You could. I didn't know you could donate it. I just don't know how it happens.
I mean, when they have to, if you're going to donate it, when they have to test it or something to make sure there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's the other weird thing about it is they would have to test it for because I can't say it. This will be a whole conversation off mic because I can't talk about
certain things.
So, getting back into fetishes with the female thing, I got in. There's a female. Is her name Bailey? She-male.
Can you like participate in stuff? But
Here
not.
it is.
You can
Bailey
participate
J.
in stuff. It's only like if you really get off on that, that's what makes it a fetish, right?
Didn't really need to do that.
Yeah, I think when it would come to either she-male on she-male or she-male on female.
I'm just even talking like pissing on somebody.
I think I'd rather be a voyeur.
Like, I don't need to be like
than-
expensive.
I'd rather be a voyeur to it than participate for that.
It doesn't need to be expensive fetish. Like it costs a lot for surgery. I'm just talking about getting pissed on.
The way I look at
Let's bring it home here.
The way I look at pissing is if I'm with someone who's really into it and they really get off on doing that, I'd let them do it. I'd let them do it.
Okay.
But otherwise,
Who here's been pissed on? Just me.
In the shower.
Okay, not your own piss on your feet.
No,
Okay.
in the shower.
See, yeah, well, you
I've-
gotta do
I've
that.
been-
Or
I've
in the
been-
bottom of the bathtub. Otherwise, it just makes
not
a
like
mess.
in a weird fetish thing, she sprayed it in my face. She just pissed on me.
I've been.
Well, yeah, that's different. Nobody wants it in their face. Have you seen the ones where people open their mouths and people piss in their mouths?
Yes.
Oh my god,
Yes,
who wants that?
apparently them.
Oh,
Piss in a
Anyways,
cup,
this is Bailey J. Bailey J is a she-male. I specifically looked up non-porno. That's pretty good fucking looking she-male.
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So
That's from just the few pictures you've shown. I would just think it was a chick that I say, damn, she's hot.
that's what
Yeah.
So Jim Norton used to be part of the Opie and Anthony show.
Mm-hmm.
So he was talking about, because I guess he used to date her. He's good friends with her, and Jim Norton is into trannies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he was talking about her, so I looked her up, and I'm like, holy shit, she's fucking hot. And then like he had her on the next day. He's like, yeah, she's a tranny, and I'm like, no fucking way.
And
like
then the dick comes out.
Yeah, I have good fucking tranny gaydar thing going on, and she blew that out of the water. Like she's the 1%er that I won't.
Yeah.
I would never figure out. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So like, yeah, okay. So when it comes to that type, well, you can see the nutsack right there.
Oh God.
Oh, you just sprung that one up on us.
I did.
That is awesome.
I wasn't expecting that myself.
Ta-da,
So
surprise!
I covered it.
You covered it with the pointer hand.
balls.
Yeah, oh balls. So when
She does an amazing job taping those back. Because
Yeah.
that looks like it's probably painful. Hey, I knew a guy once that used to be able to wrap his limp dick around his wrist, like the wristwatch. You know the things you can do with your dick, like the hamburger where you like wrap it around your nutsack and it looks like a bun in a burger.
Mark told me this story,
Yeah.
or you said it, or Mark.
It
you
could
both
have
know.
either. I mean, there's lots of things you can do with your nutsack, like, but I actually
Do the
knew a
bat
guy that you could like, the bat wing where
I
you
do the
like
bat
hold it
wing.
out.
Yeah, that everybody can do that.
But it's like
most
it's
everybody can
dick
do that.
tricks.
But,
Like you do stuff with your flaccid penis,
but like the
not a pretzel.
like my biggest problem is sitting on my balls.
I think every man has that problem.
It's happened a couple
Not
times.
every man, but most, I would assume, because not every. I mean,
Not every guy has huge,
Fucking-
giant, saggy ass balls like
no,
you.
Well, I don't have huge balls, but they,
Obviously, they're saggy.
they sag. They're
Is the toilet water that
Yeah,
cold?
yeah. Do they
Yes.
touch the toilet water yet?
sometimes.
You're getting
I
so
haven't got
old,
there yet.
fucker. You're
I haven't got
getting
there
so
yet.
old.
They've always hung like that, and it really annoys me, especially like when it gets warm out. And I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
When it gets fucking warm
I'm
out.
laughing. I'm not judging.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
And
Do
they
your
just
balls hang low?
and-
do they
and they
wobble
just-
to and fro?
Yeah, it's the Tim Allen thing. Have you ever heard the Tim Allen joke?
No.
Where he's in the bathroom and he's getting ready for taking a shower or taking a bath or whatever, and his wife walks in and goes, "Honey, when do we get a goat?" Because your balls are just hanging there.
Swinging around.
Yeah. So it's awful. The other thing is solos, girl solo, but it could go from anywhere from extreme like chicks that can take a huge dildo to not. It just depends on my mood.
I'm not into toys. I don't want to see the toys.
I once watched a
boring.
video though.
I think enough can be done
What
with
about
human bodies.
What about fucking objects? Because I saw one of this chick fuck a bedpost,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
and it actually it hurt. It hurts. Like you're watching it, going, "Oh my god, that's gotta
Did you
hurt
see
so
the
bad."
guy that sat down on the glass mayo jar?
Oh,
Yeah, it didn't pay off very well for him.
oh,
When he's sitting down on it, you hear it crack, and then all of a sudden, when he starts clearing stuff out, a pool of blood just starts pouring out of his ass.
Yeah, we understand.
We're going to talk about anything on
pool
this shit.
of blood out of the ass.
Yeah, but-
I hope everyone got that.
And I laughed at them because That's what you get, you dumb motherfucker.
Maybe he just likes the size of a mayonnaise jar.
Yeah,
I've been in porn shops and they actually have like the giant black rubber fist that suctions to the
giant
floor.
Blue dildo.
Yeah, and I always walk by and go.
That was at Susie's for the longest time.
Yes, it was at Susie's.
Oh,
and
Papa Smurf.
I was like, who buys these? Someone has to buy them.
Well,
I don't know.
I can tell you that there was a girl. I can't remember her name. Candy Apple. That's her name. Candy Apple.
Yeah.
And the fetish was to watch her put this thing. It didn't never happen because what they did was they strategically cut the film, and then what they did was behind the scenes they reshaped the dildo down to an actual regular size, and had two of them, so that when they show it pulling out, it looks like it's the real. She really put the whole thing in her. But let's face it. I mean, there's no.
It would come out your throat.
There's no fucking way you could fit anything that size in you.
I saw one where this chick put. She's one of those chicks that could do that nasty rosebud thing out of her butthole. Have you ever heard of that? The rosebud thing?
No.
It's where they it's called a prolapse anus or sphincter.
Oh, I know what that is.
It's called prolapsing.
Yeah, and it looks like
shouldn't be a fetish. That's actually a medical issue.
Oh my god!
Seek treatment immediately if you have a rosebud.
So anyway, she shoved 4 super long, double-sided dildos up her asshole, and the first one that she put in there, she had bent in half and then put it up there.
Jesus Christ.
So then she has her ass in the air and she starts popping these things out one at a time,
shooting
in
them
front of the camera. Pretty much, they were oozing out like horny snakes, right? Like snakes on crack. And then the last one comes out and it's bent. And so when the tip of the first part comes out, it goes and it slaps out and all this liquid just flies into the air. And
that's nasty.
Yeah,
that's nasty.
That was the one time I watched it. That was it. I was good. That was good.
Nope. Yeah, for all the weird shit I'll do, I am, much to many people's dismay, not into anal.
Yeah,
I am not
anal.
I am not interested.
Joe's a vanilla sex guy. I can already tell.
I'm not into anal.
Seem like
I've been with like 6 people in my life. That's it.
I know,
I've done it, but I have disliked
there's nothing wrong
it.
with it. You know,
look,
like just based off you, with the exception of the tranny stuff, just based off of your porno watching, because I don't like this and I don't like that. I don't like chicks with dildos.
I like scenarios.
I don't like watching dudes.
Yeah.
I don't like well, you did talk about liking the quality story.
Yeah, I like scenarios.
Yeah,
I like believable scenarios. But when the acting gets really, really bad, then I'm just like, I'm done.
I don't.
I watched a porno once with a midget, and he stood up on the couch to get a blowjob.
I've seen that.
He was a pizza delivery dude in the movie.
I had a problem with dialing Cabo.
It's. I think the fetish thing is a little bit crazy. Now my thing is, when you get together with somebody, when's the appropriate time that you break that out? None that I've had to do. Not that there's anything. I do not judge people. By the way, everyone who knows me knows that you could come to me and say, you know what I really like? Shoving live cats in my ass. And I'd be like, you know what? You do you. That's okay with me. Just, I'm not giving you any cats.
It's funny. There was the South Park episodes where Mr. Garrison goes from being gay to being
very religious.
No. Oh God. He transgender.
Okay.
He had the sex change and everything.
Yes.
But
Jesus Christ.
Yes, the sex slave, or slave or whatever he called him.
He's pretty much
Mr. Slave.
And he was trying to get fired from school because he was gay. Oh yeah, because whoever the teacher or whoever the Principal Victoria or whatever her name was. Yeah.
Don't you know?
Yeah. She told him that the last time someone got fired for being gay, they got like a $25 million lawsuit and shit like that. So he just started going like completely extreme with the whole gay thing, and he brought in a sex slave. And anytime someone yelled out, like Cartman would say something bad in the room, he would be like, you get a spanking. And then you walk over to the sex slave and start spanking him. Where you put he shoved the glass.
Christ.
Yeah, he shoved the glass tube up the guy's ass and then started putting, as you said, start putting a mouse in there.
Let me wings.
And let me. And that turned into a whole sub arc that lasted like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yes,
where it was a copy of The Hobbit.
The fucking mouse was in one of those.
I think it was a gerbil or a hamster.
Yeah, but it was in one of those gravity spheres or whatever they call them.
Oh yeah.
And then like the Toad King that died in his ass,
Yes.
died in sex slave's ass, was there trying to, help this rodent get out of slave's mouth, some way, ended up coming out of his mouth. And then he became, king of the hamsters or king of the rodents. But that whole fetish that you talk about with the cat up your ass
Well,
thing.
I mean, and I don't know. And I'm just
Richard
thinking, it's
Gere.
like, if it were me, like, it's hard enough dating or meeting someone and, you finally find somebody and you have to have all the same awkward conversations, like, hey, I have a problem with flatulence, or, I have a birthmark directly next to my asshole. It looks like a piece of shit if you're not careful, something weird like that. But if it's like, you really need to start talking to them about, what I like to fuck balloons. Like, how do you bring that up? Or is there just like a separate network for meeting people that are cool with, or like, hey, I like to act like a baby and have you change my diaper because I'm going to shit myself.
Well, that's
a fetish too.
Yeah, it's a subculture fetish, and most of those cats meet like online, or they've met like through ads and whatever else.
I guess that's true, because if I met somebody and they're like, hey, you know what, I'm just really into you yanking my left ear and calling me a sissy while we do it, I'd probably do that.
Yeah,
I would do it.
But I'd
be like, okay, whatever.
When is an appropriate time? I was dating April, and the natural progression of things was we were just sitting out back dicking around. We were drinking and smoking and talking and whatever. And I had the laptop out there, and I don't know where the fuck this came across, but I was looking up
foot fetish.
Yeah, grindhouse trailers.
Okay.
So 70s grindhouse trailers, because the guy's voice is really cool.
Yeah.
And
El Rey Network.
And yeah, he does that. Anyways, he's got this real cool deep voice, and it's the YouTube, it's the YouTube effect. The more you start looking into things on YouTube, the deeper you go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And it led me to porno trailers from the 70s, 60s, and 70s. And I started laughing, and she's like, "What are you fucking watching?" And I'm like, "That's this guy's voice. He's street smart and steel hard." That guy's got a great fucking voice.
When he's doing trailers.
So, imagine if somebody like that, or like Peter Cullen, who does Optimus Prime, or the Sunday guy, or the guy that does the football thing for Westwood One, whatever, how deep he can get his voice.
Yeah. The
read children's books. How great would that be? Just read children's books. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. So yeah. So with
they did. That's true. George Carlin did some of that, but he actually was a voice of Thomas the Train for a while.
Yeah, he
wasn't the voice. He was on the show.
He was the station
conductor.
guy. Yeah, the conductor.
Well, he was like the narrator.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah, that was like the...
Barry.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird because I was watching Thomas the Train when my kids were little, and I'm like...
Thomas the Tank Engine? Yeah.
How do I know this voice? That can't be right.
He actually discussed that because in one of his specials, as he was going through this whole thing about anti-corporation, what is it? The entire joke was putting people in the middle of the United States with different... issues like murderers and rapists and pedophiles, and you put all the drug dealers and the drugs up in Colorado, which is ironic that he said that at the time, and then you just put a wall around these 4 states, and then you split them up into sectional walls, right? And for 30 seconds, once per month, a small door opens, and people they fight to get into the other state, right? And that's how it went. And he goes, and people like fucking Budweiser and Coke and Pepsi can smear their diarrhea advertising all over the place on this, and then public executions and shit like that. And I'm completely off track now. Great.
We're talking about Thomas the Train.
Yeah, I know. But
you said he was doing a special, and he was talking about Thomas the Train.
And anyways, yeah, thank you. And he goes, I realize how ironic that is coming from a guy that does Thomas the Tank Engine as a conductor.
Well, it got pretty commercialized. It used to be really small. It got more commercialized, after Alec Baldwin was part of it.
Eric Baldwin,
I think. So I personally, though, with fetishes, I don't know, or at least maybe I just didn't know I've been with anybody in any kind of long-term relationship that had weird fetishes either.
There's never one time when you were with someone and the dude's like, stick your pinky up my asshole, or...
Well, I don't consider that's not really a fetish. That's almost standard.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like licking asshole. It's just standard. It's just standard now.
Okay.
But I don't think butt stuff is really a fetish unless it goes beyond.
Unless you're shooting like giant dildos across the room.
Yeah,
from your
double-sided
ass.
dildos.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think a fetish is something that is specific to you getting off. Mm-hmm. Like you can have multiple fetishes, right? And you can have the daddy fetish, the mommy fetish.
The rape fetish.
But it's one of those things
the burglar
that
fetish
you do specifically because it's a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of where it goes.
More like you really get
BDSM.
off on doing somebody's feet, whereas most people would just be like either A, disgusted by it like you, or B, they'd be
Right.
like, it's almost like equivalent to titty fucking. Like, why would I?
Yeah, not
Why
really
would I do
interested.
that? Not
Yeah.
really. Whatever. If that's all there is, sure, I'll rub my penis on your foot. Whatever.
Right.
But it's not like I really need
know-
feet, because there's guys that they even want old shoes, and you rub your sweaty foot on them.
Like Glenn Quagmire,
Yeah.
Yeah, look,
Or they want their nuts stepped on.
it's weird when it comes to feet. I love when I see a Tarantino movie and he has a lot of his female characters walking around barefoot.
He's got a foot fetish.
I think that's sexy, but I have a lot. My line is I can see the female body and the female feet as sexy without wanting to do things to the feet themselves. Okay.
Mike is about ready to vomit over here.
I'm not ready to vomit. He knows exactly.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's like anti-feet, and me, I'm just like whatever with feet.
And some people are into the toys too. You were like, I don't like looking at the toys. Some people are really into that.
Yeah, the way I see toys is I just look if toys is what gets you off, fine. But I think that there's enough things that human beings could do with their own bodies to each other that you can have a very good time without needing the toys.
No, I've never needed necessarily the toy. Well, don't get me wrong. The toys come in necessary when you're in a dry spell. But, in a regular relationship, unless there's something particular that needs to get done that we're just out of hands or something,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So-
supposed to add flavor.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, look, if you want to try,
could.
look, maybe I do have a fetish that I'm just not aware of yet. That I just haven't.
Experienced yet?
Yeah, and then
I'm
all
not
of a
changing
sudden,
your diaper, Joe.
like for example, the first time I was ever at a strip club, and this stripper came up behind me and threw my hoodie over my head, and then she started touching my ears. All of a sudden, I just got this this intense feeling all over my body, and I
think it's just because a woman was touching you.
It could have been that because my wife wasn't at the time, so might as well. So, so yeah, it was. Yeah, I just didn't know that my ears were my spot until she started lightly touching and then sucking on my earlobe. Holy shit! I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
I thought they weren't supposed to touch you.
Oh well, she wanted that money. I still didn't. I never paid her.
No, you can't touch them
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that's right.
hands.
I forgot.
unless you're at the Mitchell Theater in San Francisco.
Yeah, or unless you give them a
Mitchell
couple grams of
Brothers.
coke, then
Or
you're good.
just a little bit of extra money.
No, not even if you give them a couple grams of coke. No touchy.
Well, some
Because
clubs
no
are
one-
different.
no
It just
one
depends
ever
on the
breaks
club
any
and the
rules
chick.
ever. No, rules never get broken in strip clubs. Never. I've never seen two chicks waiting for the bouncer to walk by so they can go down on each other in front of the client.
That's
Never seen that happen.
That's two chicks that work at the strip
Yeah,
club.
when they're not allowed to do that to each other.
Doesn't matter. They work at the strip club. I'm talking about a John walking into the strip club. You don't ever see any Johns touching another chick, and they will tell you right up front because they will walk. They'll go get the fucking bouncer. I've seen it multiple times.
I'm
Well,
talking
it depends.
about
Okay, so
when
again-
you have a willing participant.
This is where I also draw the line, and I know this is probably going to cause a lot of
That's when they take
backlash
you into the back room.
because everybody's had some sort of issue with sexual harassment. But my theory on sexual harassment is what happens when one person doesn't find the other person attractive. So it's really only sexual harassment like being hit on, not like you have to bone me or you don't keep your job, but like at work, like if somebody's like flirting with you, it's sexual harassment if you find them gross. If it's not, then it's fun for you. So I think that's the thing too, is because I also know the flip side. So there was a while where my sister-in-law and I worked a part-time job at a place that sold strippers their clothes, and got to become very familiar with strippers and selling stuff to them and hearing stories. And a couple of them worked there, and I went to go see one of them work a couple of times. And it really, really just depends on if they find you attractive, how much they're willing to do for the money, how much you're offering. If they have a bouncer that they can pay off, they can get a lot done.
Or if they grab your hand. If they grab your hand and put it on them, then that's also acceptable.
So there you go.
Yeah. So
I think one of the grossest things that I heard about was bachelor party lollipops. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a common thing because, I mean, all the girls...
Do I need to tell that story?
No, a lot of the girls do that at bachelor parties and other things like that, where they actually put... And I've heard about it at strip clubs, too.
I need to tell that story.
You put lollipops in the vagina.
No, but the story before that, the whole... Right, go on with your...
Yeah, you put lollipop in your vagina, and then you sell it to the guys.
Sell it?
So that they can taste your pussy, which seems good in theory, but if you figure you're getting mystery juice, essentially.
Yeah, you don't know where it's coming from.
You don't know. You don't know how many bugs are on that. Like, when you wake up the next day and your whole mouth's like covered in sores, you look like the guy in the Saturday Night Live chapstick skit.
Hoof and mouth.
What did I eat last night?
Why am I all blistery?
Who's shit in my mouth?
I got a story, and I can tell this one because the participant is passed on. So my buddy Carl, whose bachelor party was it?
Mark's.
It's okay. So it's my brother's bachelor party, and I had been sworn to secrecy about this, and I've never told this story to another soul.
I think she knows about it.
She may. I have never told this. I've never told anything that's ever happened at this bachelor party, with the exception of the first part of this story.
So it was Vegas then, technically.
No, it was here.
No, I mean what happens in.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So, having the bachelor party at one of Mark's friend's house, and it's me and Carl, Mark, a couple of other people, and the stripper shows up. So she knocks on the door. Bouncer comes in, bouncer leaves after they negotiate. Boom, boom, boom. And the first fucking thing that happens is Carl looks up and goes, "Oh, hey, Stephanie, how are you doing?" Or whatever her fucking name was. She goes, "Oh, hey, Carl, how are you?"
Yeah, he knows them all.
How's the kids?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they had a fucking full-on conversation while she's taking off her, getting ready.
So he's
right?
a regular.
Oh, yeah. He was always regular.
Of many clubs,
Yeah.
yes.
Mostly Showgirls. City Limits and the other one.
Okay.
Centerfolds is way too expensive and shitty, so... she proceeds to... And I don't know who hired the stripper. I do not...
Diana.
Whoever hired the stripper should have been punched.
It's Diana. I think it was Diana.
Which
makes more sense when you think about it.
The stripper took off her top, and her tits were fake. And she had been a week out of fucking breast surgery.
So she still had the red, like, sword lines of
her
scars?
And her nipples were in the wrong spots.
That's amazing.
They were off and out. So, like, one was, like, pointing up to the left. The left one was pointing up and to the left.
So she was cross-nipped.
And the right one was kind of, like, in a weird angle that wasn't quite right and just off-center.
How'd you know which one to look at?
I didn't. It was like the lady that fired me from Herbalife. She had a cockeye, and I didn't know who she was trying to fire.
Like, which one?
So I was, like, trying to get her attention. So she goes into the whole routine, and nobody wanted anything to do with her. Like, she was just, like, gross. And it's like, she's like, "Oh, I'll do the lollipop show." So she did the lollipop show, but Carl was the recipient of the lollipop show. Again.
Because he's safe. He's the friend.
Well,
no.
He's probably had them before.
No. Literally, nobody wanted to do the lollipop show, and Mark's the bachelor.
Yeah.
So he gave up his spot to Carl because as he says, or as Mark said to the stripper, I'm getting married and I'm dedicated to my wife.
Yes.
I don't want mouth herpes. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
gift that keeps on giving.
She took Carl in one of the back rooms, and then it came out. So good on him. I think actually it came out that we just made Carl the bachelor, and this went from there. So that's the lollipop story.
I'm surprised she bought that story. Somebody married Carl.
To be honest with you, if I was at a bachelor party and the stripper did the lollipop, I would take it.
Not this one.
You would take that lollipop?
I would.
Not this one. No.
I just liken that to like licking a public toilet seat or something.
Yeah,
I don't-
Which I have passed out on before, but never licked.
I get it. I understand it. But I'm a freak when it comes to certain things. And if I'm in that moment, I'm in that goddamn moment.
Yeah, not her. I guarantee you not
This
her.
is how herpes have spread.
Yeah.
That's why
You're gonna get the meningitis.
That's why after every encounter I've had, I got fucking tested just to make sure.
Got the meningitis.
Like if she didn't have a boob job, she would have been fine. But she had this boob job, and it just
She had bills to pay. She couldn't.
fucked
She
her
couldn't.
up.
She didn't have time to heal.
it's
probably got it in a back alley in Tijuana.
Yeah, no doubt. Tijuana dumpster fire boob job.
Got the Tijuana dumpster. Got
Yeah,
these shitty ass
fucking.
boobs.
So instead of putting silicone in there, they put like styrofoam and shit in there.
I don't know. I've been to a lot of strip clubs, and I'm going to tell you what. I really have a lot of respect for those women. I will say that.
Why have you been to a lot of strip clubs?
I just
Why
have.
It's
like
a genuine question.
It's
What-
like
what-
there's a
what-
curiosity with it, and
Why
I'm
not go?
There isn't. This isn't a why not. I'm asking why.
How many strip clubs?
I didn't
have you
say
been
it.
to?
I didn't say it in a judgmental
Don't get
way.
fucking defensive.
Don't get accusatory.
I didn't.
This argument is brought to you by two grown men arguing like the 5-year-old children.
Why have you been to a strip club a lot?
I think there's a lot of mystery that goes along with it, like, hey, what's in there? And then I'm very,
Like where the lollipops go?
where did the lollipops go?
What's in there?
Can they shock the monkey?
And it's one of those things like, you can't go in until you're a certain age, so you get a certain age, so you want to go in.
Yeah, you can't do it, but now you can. Okay.
And I've never been horribly offended by it, like some people. Obviously, I'm not a prude.
What?
I've been what? Right?
Like the church over by Club, whatever 916 or whatever the fuck that is, right off of.
And for a
Auburn
while,
Boulevard.
when I was older, I was for a large group of friends, and we talked about they have a lot of guy friends. I was the beard, if you will, for a lot of that stuff. And like, oh hey, where are you guys all going? Oh hey, we're all going bowling. Okay, and like the girlfriends would get weird. I'm like, Heather's going with us though. Oh, okay, cool. And so they don't think anything bad's going to happen because I'm going too.
Right.
But all I do was just escort this group of friends to the strip club,
Yeah.
and then it's okay because then they think that they really went bowling. And then it got to a point too. I think I realized that I have a very, as we've kind of talked about a little bit before, and we'll get into at some point, I'm a very alpha person. So for me, it's like, I think there's like a little bit of a power trip when you go in there and you're paying people to do that. And
You're a female too, so you get more attention as well.
I do without paying for it. And not that I want it.
Yeah, I guarantee you
Again,
should have to pay to get into the fucking club.
Yeah.
And but the other thing is too is it became a place like I've got another buddy of mine, and we've been friends for a really long time, and I haven't seen him in a while, but we used to do what we call conduct business there. So you know how like you haven't seen anybody for a while, you meet up, you have a cup of coffee, or you go out for a drink.
Hold on. Conduct business is code for I used to jerk them off under the table.
Not that. But we would actually go to the strip club and sit, Wade and I, and have a full conversation about what's been going on, family,
Even with the
significant
loud-ass
others,
music.
loud-ass music, strippers going. In fact, we were up at the rail one time just because, we go up there, we throw $2 down, but we're talking. And the lady comes up and she goes, I feel like I'm interrupting you. And we both look up and we're like, you are. And she just walked away. So just because, and then somebody came up with a fake ass and it freaked him out. So we had to leave. That was the last time we went. And then from there, I think sometimes it just becomes of like, it's like a pastime on it or something like that. But those girls, there was a point in time when I was much younger and much thinner that I was like, hey, maybe I can make a lot of money stripping because I can dance. I have great rhythm. I'm not shy. So this would be a great thing to make a whole bunch of fucking money. And
It's a good fallback career.
It's a great fallback career. And then
And you
I
can fall onto things
went
as
to go
well.
see one of the chicks that we worked with at the shop that was a stripper. And I watched this poor stripper girl get tipped a bunch of money, but she had to give a lap dance to an old guy who was balding, and he had a Band-Aid on his forehead, and it was halfway falling off with like blood, pus shit on the Band-Aid.
Because he was sweating?
And she had to grind on him, and I thought, you know what? This just isn't for me.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm good.
Or the dudes that come in sweatpants.
Or that, that probably would have been my husband went to the strip club in
boner
sweatpants.
time.
Yeah, it's and no underwear. Like, I need a lap dance. I need another lap dance. Grind more.
Can I get a wet nap?
Yeah. Oh,
We went to.
brought my change of pants.
Do you remember Dana and Lisa Lobach? They
No.
were in my class. So
I'm sure they're thrilled that their last name's out there now.
it doesn't matter. They're not listening.
That doesn't matter. They're not listening.
I don't give a shit. This was years ago, anyways. I can never remember. They were twins, and for some fucking reason, so Carl is going through whatever he's going through, right? All these stripper stories are with Carl.
Usually with Carl. Yeah.
And I've got a couple of them. And we're sitting at a table. I don't know what the fuck we were doing. We were just talking. Carl and I were just talking. And out of nowhere comes one of the Lobach twins. She's a waitress at Centerfolds. And Carl starts talking with her, of course.
Of course.
Because we went to high school together.
And it's Carl.
And I looked at Carl and I'm like, so I was like, I don't know which Lobach you are, but you're one of them. And she introduces herself, and Carl, she wanders away or takes our drink or whatever else. And I look at Carl, I'm like, of all the fucking places that you take me, you end up talking to a girl that we went to high school with, which leads me into the other one, which is prior to that, maybe a year before that, a couple years, one of the girls that we also went to high school with was a dancer on stage and literally invited Carl and her boyfriend and anyone else that she went to high school with that could go to the show to watch her strip and give her pointers.
Okay. Well,
how did I do?
Constructive feedback is important in any career. It's an important building block.
That look on your face is classic.
Did you say boning block?
No, a building block to any successful career is it's constructive criticism, and I appreciate that she asked for that.
Yeah,
she was really trying to work her way through school and support herself. Okay, I was trying.
She was just there.
I got to tell you,
she was honest. She's like, I'm just here to make money.
Yeah, a lot of them they get really attitudey, and they get the stripper attitude. Because you could always tell the new ones when they came into the shop because they were super nice and talking, and then after a while they came in and they're just super
fucking jaded,
super horrible bitches.
She didn't have a stalker yet. That's why they're nice.
They had
meet Carl.
Yeah, well, like one I still remember was trying on these shoes, the giant ass stripper shoes, the giant platinums and clears and shit like that, and she was really concerned because it looked like there was like a quarter of an inch lip in the back of her shoe, and I was tired of dealing with her, and she's like walking back, she's like, I don't know, it's got this. I go, bitch, nobody's looking at your shoes. They ain't looking at your shoes.
Right.
So, I mean, again,
just get a job and shut the fuck up.
A huge respect for them because of what they do. After the Band-Aid guy, I'm just like, you get it because you guys are obviously working a lot harder for the money.
It's like they're almost like
should be.
They're like naked trash men.
One of the
kind
girls.
Of. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
They just deal with filth.
Here's the fun part for as open as I am and not give a shit as I am and everything, because I have all that inner working knowledge that I do. One of the strict rules in relationships with me is you are not allowed to go to the strip club unless I go.
Fair enough.
You can go if I go too. You just can't go by yourself. I can go.
Yeah.
Because I already know.
That's not fair.
It's not a problem.
You can't have it both ways.
Well, I've learned that the hard way, but
she's not into. You're not into chicks, right?
So, no, I am totally not into chicks.
If she was
at
into
all.
chicks, then it would be wrong. But she's not into chicks.
Doesn't
Again,
matter.
I know, but see,
ways.
So he's got the one point of view on it, and how I viewed it originally was like I said, I went with my friends. I was the excuse. I was the bowling excuse. I go there to conduct business. There's just it's just like background shit. As far as I'm concerned, but evidently that's a different take on it. But see, for me, it's not a big deal. If I'm a dude and I'm getting a lap dance, and I don't really actually get lap dances, but even then, the best example and I know this was a terrible time to go, was San Francisco a few years ago. I was there for a convention for my charity club, and I didn't want to attend any of the meetings or anything, and so I was drunk with my fiance at the time, and we were walking down, I don't even know which street, but I think we were down like Market or something. We're in the financial district. Not that there's any super awesome parts of San Francisco, but not the best area in the world.
I believe Market is where the Mitchell Brothers Theater is.
I don't think it was Mitchell Brothers. It was something else, but it was definitely a strip club, and we were in there at about noon on like a Wednesday. And walked in right when the lights were still on.
Amateur
and then
day.
they turned, like, and it's us and like one bum that's just there for a place to sleep.
Right.
And the lady was so thankful that we weren't total creeps. And one of the first things she says is she starts, dancing, because I throw money on the rail, and she starts dancing close to me, and she's like, "So what are you doing in here?" She's like, "What brought you here?" And I go, "Oh, you mean at noon?
Alcohol?
On a Wednesday?" Yeah, I'm really fucking drunk, and I thought this would be hilarious. That's why I'm here. So she was super nice, but I'm sure she was thankful again. And that's what a lot of it is. I think you come in there and the girls are like, "Oh, thank God, it's a chick, and she doesn't look like a total creep. Thank Jesus." So it gets the other guys.
I would
attention.
probably, if I was someone that wanted to go to strip clubs all the time and become a regular, I would be like that. I'd be that best friend. I'd be the one that would escort them to their car kind of guy. I'd be like, they would see me as that big brother type. I guarantee you, because that's how women always see me as.
You'd be the guy walking them to their car with a giant wet spot on the front of your sweatpants.
Nope.
That's what you would be.
Not with the wet spot.
Not with the wet spot on the front of my pants.
Just a dribble.
Just a little dribble. Just a little.
I've got a story just similar to yours with the dating thing. Girl that I was dating in the 90s, Kate, and she and so it was me, my buddy Wes, and my buddy Chris's brother, who was going into the military, who decided that he was going to fashion his hair and beard to look like Wolverine.
Okay.
So he looked like Logan.
Okay.
I'll go with that. Hey, whatever.
You do you.
And that
Cats.
was before Hugh Jackman's look.
That was before,
Hey,
right.
You do
Yeah.
you. Cats in your asshole.
Yes.
That's
Catherine
fine.
Russell. So, yeah, this is like 98, 99 or whatever it was.
It's a good look, bub.
Yeah. And so we got nice and liquored up, and we ended up over at what is the club that is right by the gas station on Auburn Boulevard? Like, whatever, Club
City
911.
Limits.
No, it's the other one.
Embers.
7440?
No, the other one.
No, 7440 doesn't have strippers.
There was Showgirls. There was
down the
Showgirls
street
was
from
City Limits.
Showgirls,
yeah.
headed towards Madison Avenue.
Did it have old chicks?
All
Then it was Embers.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Embers.
There was one. There was Alley Cats at the corner of Manzanita. Garfield and Auburn Boulevard.
Yeah, but it's not Alley Cats. It was something
yeah,
else.
it was. I don't remember what the name
like
used
Club,
to be.
like I've already like Club 916 or whatever it was. So
It could have been that. Sounds familiar.
Never been there.
so we go there. Wes and I know the bouncer, so he lets us in for free. We don't have to worry about anything. We got fucking tanked, and we ended up going over to Centerfolds. And when you go to a strip club, a juice bar,
Yeah.
drunk, it's so much better. The experience is so much better.
I bet.
Yeah, the shower.
Oh, the
thing.
shower room.
I did the shower once. Yeah.
Yeah, the shower room, and
My buddy knew a stripper, so we got a huge discount.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
I got my Groupon
Huge.
for the shower room.
That was the best shower I ever took.
Do you have to just print it out and put that in their G-string? Like, I just roll it up really tight. I'm like, here's my Groupon code.
here's your coupon.
Fuck, if they would have had Groupons for strip clubs, I probably never would have met my husband.
Yeah.
He never would have left.
So as you can see, that Centerfolds was pretty much one of a destination place for us. So
Destination.
yeah, so we went there so I could sober up.
Good, yes.
And
Yes. I have actually done that too.
it kind of worked.
We can hide here.
I ended up burning a
Until I
hole.
can drive.
The cherry from my cigarette fell down onto Wes's seat and burned a hole all the way through to the bottom of his car.
Good.
So, and he got pissed off at me for that. And then I drove home. Now, in between all this, I had told my girlfriend at the time that the kid is going into the military. We are going to a strip club, or a couple of them. We are going to get drunk, and then I'm going to come home, and then I'm going to sleep. She knew everything. I said, I'll call you. I'll call you before midnight, blah, 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 in case we go to a club. So I call her when I get there, being the responsible adult, like I said I was. I called her before we left the club and said, hey, we're going over to Centerfolds. I'm fucking hammered. I need to sober up. So we went over to Centerfolds. I sober up, and I drive home and proceed to get into an epic argument at 2 a.m. with her because she was pissed off that I went to strip clubs, and she, quote-unquote, didn't know. I said, how the fuck did you not know when I called you? I'm coming home.
This just
I
sounds
went to
like
the fucking strip club. You know, I'm at the strip club. I'm leaving the strip club. Now I'm coming home.
I think counseling would benefit you. You have PTSD. You have relationship PTSD.
I have to.
Yes.
But that shit
You're
right
better than
there,
me because
because
I always forget to make the phone call because I get too into like hanging out and just roll to the next bar. And which is funny, again, this is the alpha in me. Like, I want to know where you're at because when somebody calls me in a day or two and tells me a story of, oh, hey, I saw your boyfriend at da-da-da-da-da, which literally happens every time and has my entire life.
Right.
I want to be able to be like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Not like, he was fucking where?
Right.
So, but at the same time, I'm really bad at making that phone call because I'm just like, hey, we're rolling with whatever's going on. And then I'm just like, hey, here we go, and this is what we're doing, and da-da-da-da-da.
I don't care if it's a phone. You don't have to fucking call. Text me. Send me a text. Hey, or I'll send you a
Living
text.
location.
Hey, is everything okay? Yes or no? I had that problem with Shelly. I'll be like, if you get there, you know, like she would fly somewhere. As soon as you land, just give me a call. Let me know you're okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, it'd be cool. 3 days later, oh, hey, how you doing?
Oh, yeah, see, that'd be a problem.
Like, really?
The fuck?
I even have to call my sister-in-law and let her know when I land. I have, like, every time I land in a plane, I have 4 people I have to contact to let them know that I'm on the ground alive.
Right.
4 people.
So you just have a mass text?
I do.
Like
well,
text?
I don't have a max test. I just have, like, I just go through them.
It's just respect. It's
Well,
just like, hey.
here's the thing I think that happened with the girlfriend is that she already had a problem with it from the get-go when you told her.
She just wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, she couldn't say anything at first because you were doing the mature thing, and she would have looked like the asshole.
No, because
So-
I planned this for a week.
I understand. I'm saying the perspective of your girlfriend.
No, I planned this and told her a week in advance.
Okay, she had a problem with it from the get-go.
Yeah,
And
just
she
didn't say
waited
anything.
till it was all said and done so that she could use it as ammunition against you. Because that's called
Which is-
manipulation.
which
I
is a
know all
relationship
about
issue.
yeah, I know all about
I get
manipulation.
that, but when you talk to the person and you say this is next weekend, this is what's going to happen, and because he's going into the military.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Let me. I know. And then when I explain to her or have a conversation with her again the next day, and say, hey, don't forget Friday, I'm still going out.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with this? And then in the next 3 days, you have at least one more conversation with her before you go out. And then the day that you go out, you say, hey, don't forget I'm going out tonight. Do you have a problem with this? If you have a problem with this, I'm not going out.
Yeah.
And she said, no, go out. Have a great time. Okay, you understand I'm going to a strip club, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get drunk, blah, blah, blah. And you can't have a problem with this because we've already had this discussion over an entire fucking week.
She had a problem with it. She had a problem with it the whole time.
No, it was her problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She had a problem with it. It was her problem. You did what you were
She didn't
supposed
want
to
you
do.
to go in the first place, but if she said that she didn't want you to go, she was going to be controlling. So
Yeah.
this is where we start talking about relationship stuff. You should bring up more of this. I can help you with these things. That's what it was. And you know, the thing of it is that most dudes are used to dealing with that, so they don't understand people like me that just go right out of the gate and be like, I have an issue with that. And then they think,
Yeah, and
I'm kidding.
And that's what
I'm just
if I'm
telling you.
dating somebody and I say, hey, this, and this, do you have a problem with that?
And they say no, you're like,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. Now it's on you, motherfucker.
Reminds me of the coworker I went on a date with. Was it almost 2 years ago now? Is right when we started talking about going out and stuff. That night she was going to go out with some coworkers. It was already been planned, and she goes, "Do you have any problem with me going out with him?" And I said, "No." I said, "Go have fun. Live your life. Well, who the fuck am I to tell you what you can and can't do?"
Right.
Right. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to just hopefully we can spend some good time together and see where it goes. That's it. And come to find out, she went out with the coworkers and was doing coke with them and shit. And so the next day she's all regretful and shit. And then I found out through coworkers that she had done coke and shit. And I wasn't tripping. I just was like, okay, whatever. And she goes, "You're
Cat's
not,
in your ass. You do you."
She's all, "You're not mad?" I go,
"I don't own you."
I said, I'm not here to tell you what to do. Okay, if I have a problem with something,
do you see this?
Yeah,
there ain't no ring there.
Yeah, I said I'm not. Yeah,
and even if there was, I probably still wouldn't have a problem.
My insecure jealousy that I had as a
the question
teenager,
I have is, was it good coke?
I don't know. She felt like shit the next day. I remember that.
Then it was not. No, bad coke. Just a bad dealer.
Yeah. So
she was a fetish or a bad dealer.
Yeah. So but yeah, she it was just weird because she was surprised that I was just like, I don't have a problem with it because as long as you're not someone that's doing this shit all the time, if you're someone that's fucking doing coke every weekend, then yeah, I have a problem with it.
Yeah, I should have seen this one coming with the strip club girl.
Yeah,
not the stripper. The
Carl's girl. Which one of Carl's girls?
the other. The one that I had dated in the '90s, late '90s.
Yeah, the manipulator.
Because we weren't even going out. We were talking and whatever else, and then like I went out with a girl and we ended up hooking up for like just a couple of days, and then I went home. I went from my house to my parents' house to have dinner one night, and I actually ended up staying over the night because I drank too much, and I was dicking around online, and she was online. And we were talking. She goes, "Where have you been for the past couple of days?" I'm like, I went on a date with blah blah blah. I said, and this is the guilt in me. This is my guilt, and I fucking hate it. Is when people make me feel guilty, then I start apologizing and then saying, "Oh, it'll never happen again." We weren't even dating. She's like, "I don't know if I trust you anymore," and this and that. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? We're not dating. I go out with a girl that I like, and we hook up, have a good time, and now I feel like shit because we fucked once, and now and you live way the fuck down there, like hours away, and
people get possessive, man.
Yeah, you're her. You were hers, dude.
I know.
People don't understand that dating multiple people. Well, let me rephrase that. Dudes think they can date multiple people. When chicks do it, they have a problem with it.
It's a double standard.
I found that out the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah, and when it comes right down to it, what I should have said was, there's the fucking road, take a walk.
Numerous times I found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
That they don't, because I just assumed that it's like, oh, you're dating other people, so we're both dating other people.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, we're da-da-da. Oh, we're going out with somebody. What? Yeah, well, I thought that's what we were doing here.
That's the like the epitome of someone who is selfish and territorial, and they want to have their bounty, and no one else touches their bounty.
Right.
That sounds like me.
And so they planted that flag in one way or another, and no one else better get on their fucking mountain.
I should have been a dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, that's what strap-ons are for.
Maybe I should have been a she-male. I could have been in one of Joe's videos.
I was so pissed off because I should have told her to hit the road, because the other girl was more fun.
Yeah.
And local.
Isn't that what dating's all about? Is to find out who's the one you enjoy the most time with?
Yeah, well, fucking hindsight too.
Yeah, of course.
But I should have just stuck with my gun and said, okay, then hit the fucking road, and then.
Well, you learned from it, man.
Hey, how you doing?
I mean, you learned from it.
Didn't.
But you at least acknowledge it.
I acknowledge it,
but I did not learn from it.
It wasn't.
Thank you.
I didn't.
No, I said I forgave you. I did not forget.
Yeah, I'm a spineless coward sometimes.
Mush.
I have to take a piss.
So do I. So we got to end this podcast, and then we got to go do another one.
We did really shitty on talking about fetishes specifically, but we did talk about dating.
We talked a lot
and
about
strippers.
Yeah, strippers and dating.
Hey, we're spread all over the place like bukkake.
Yep. All right.
All right. Are you going to do your sign-off, Joe?
Cocktails out.
Ugh. Shut the fuck up.